Hey everyone, Michael from Black Snow Comics here. Another month down on my year-long daily drawing challenge, so March came and went pretty quickly. I'll do the same thing I did for the last couple of months, where I'll take a look at what I drew and kind of discuss things that happened that month. Let's see, so why don't we just start by looking at the drawings. So bring it a little closer so you can see them better with me. There we go. Maybe I could focus on there a little more. Okay. So when March started, I was in the middle of drawing original characters. So I forget exactly which day, but you see I went through most of my main series and they were represented. And one thing that I was pretty happy about with all this is that they got just about as much attention as the fan art stuff. So I was kind of surprised. A lot of times I found it's hard to get people interested in your original art or your original comics and characters they're not familiar with. So it was nice that they got as many social shares and likes and whatever as the other stuff. Then I did some digital portraits. So here's myself looking pretty cool. Danny DeVito, Elvis, Kurt Cobain. This one was a little different. This didn't fit in that. This was a paid commission someone did, and yes, I'm available for paid commissions if you want. It's Dark Samus versus Venom, and that was fun. Kind of a old school Venom where he's got the blue tones to him, but it's the huge version of him, and then I got the tentacles going and everything. And then Dark Samus, of course, is seeing a rise in popularity with Smash Bros. Lately. And then continuing with kind of the portraits, Eminem. So the digital portraits, I was really happy with the way they were turning out. Something I hadn't done in a while. And then went kind of more cartoony route after that. Lilo and Stitch. So Stitch. Osmosis Jones. This one I just wanted to do. I really enjoyed the Guacamelee games, the first and second game, and so I just finished the second game and decided I wanted to draw Juan from that game. And then this one turned out to be pretty cool as the Shredder, and you can see he's kind of used his claws to cut through the page, and he's peeking out at us. And I did it in the black and white, kind of like the Mirage Studio comics. Tried to do it in that style. And yeah, I actually drew the whole Shredder head and everything, and then put a white layer over it, and then picked which parts I wanted to cut and show. So I didn't just draw what you were going to see, although maybe that would have been wiser, saving me some time, but whatever. And then Freddy Freaker. This was an internet meme thing that someone requested that I hadn't heard of. And then my son and I dug into the lore of it a little bit, and it's a weird one. And then I did a portrait of my beautiful wife for our anniversary. It was 11 years, so it was a nice picture of that, and she was really happy with it. Everyone seemed to really think I captured her likeness well, and it looked good. Buzz Lightyear. This one just popped to mind for St. Patrick's Day. I want to do something kind of fun, so I did Lucky Leprechaun, but like a dark version of him hoarding his Lucky Charms. And then this was part of a thing I did for someone. Let's see if I can show it. The Godfather. It's meant to be part of a larger project where it's a postcard mailer for a business thing. And then my dad I drew for his birthday. Then Toothless. I like this one. This is when he first meets Toothless, and Toothless is kind of giving him a goofy smile. And no one requested, I just felt like drawing it. And then Snarf from the Thundercats, ho! I'm never a huge fan of them, but I always like the Snarf character. I like how 80s like action fantasy shows had to have some kind of weird little sidekick like that. Then I did Angry Beavers. This turned out to be one of the more popular drawings I've done for whatever reason. It got a lot of play on social media. So that was leftover request from my Nicktoons week. I felt like just getting out of the way. Number 5 with Dolores from Umbrella Academy. I haven't read the comics yet, so it's based off of the show. And I really enjoyed the show, and I really enjoyed the strange visuals of it. And I thought Drunk Number 5, who is like a kid, but he's really, well, it's complicated, but he's an older man in a kid's body. And then this half mannequin has become kind of the love of his life. And it's not done in a creepy way, it's just like an odd, quirky, fun way. If you didn't see, I put a review of kind of the first season of that on YouTube that you can also watch. This was a dude from Magic the Gathering, the Mind Sculptor. I can't remember his name at the moment, but someone requested that. Then I decided to do some weeks because I hadn't done any theme weeks in a while. So I did Batman weeks. I got Scarecrow, Bane, Man-Bat, Egghead. That was kind of fun. You see, I did that more like a portrait style since it was a real person and not just a character. Clayface. And these are all requests. There's a lot more I wanted to do and a lot more requests I had, so I'll be doing another Batman week, not too long. Harley Quinn. And I wanted to go for the classic look. And then I ended it with Heath Ledger Joker. Yeah, so that was March. I'll really enjoyed doing the Batman week, so looking forward to doing another one of those. I just started Spider-Man week, and already I got a bunch of requests for that, and most of them don't line up with the characters I had in mind, so I'll probably mix a little bit of that and end up doing another week for that. Next week I want to do a Hellboy week in anticipation of the Hellboy movie. Hitting up 3 of my favorite comics in a row, basically. I'm a big Batman guy. I've always liked Spider-Man since I was a little kid, and Hellboy is pretty much my favorite comic. It's one of the only ones I really collect and follow regularly. Other things that went on this month, I decided I think everything we just looked at was drawn digitally and is all drawn with the Clip Studio Paint Pro, and I've gotten pretty used to that program. I like that program. And then the other big thing, about halfway through the month, I upgraded my tablet from the Wacom, or Wacom, I don't know, however you say it, into a Pro Medium to, I got an XP Pen 13.3 digital art display. So now I have something that I can draw directly on. So that's been pretty cool. And my family thinks I look like a boss with my little weird half glove that you use on them. But let me see if I can bring something up real quick just to show you, if it's not too much of a pain right now. Okay. So the biggest difference between what I was doing and what this allows me to do is that now I can draw directly on it and have it represented. So it's a one-to-one. Yeah, so this lets me do kind of one-to-one drawing versus looking at one spot and drawing in another spot. So the biggest difference is I can look right here. I can start drawing exactly what I want. And it feels very similar to drawing on a paper. So this is not gonna be anything good. This is just for like demonstration purposes. I didn't really think what I'm doing, just drawing some eyes here. But as you can see, I can, it feels a lot more like traditional drawing. Oh, that was kind of bad. So then you can push that back button too. so you could barely see it anyway on there. But yeah, basically it's been pretty fun. It's been a little bit of a learning curve, just because there's a few quirks with it, and it was hard to kind of get it to calibrate correctly. So it was even kind of a little more tricky when it's off by just a little bit, because then you're expecting it to work. But overall, I've been very happy with it, and this is a very affordable option compared to something like a Cintiq. I'd recommend it. With Amazon, I was able to get it, and since I have a card with them, I was able to spread it out on a payment thing over a number of months. But even without that, it was affordable. But basically, it broke down to, after a discount they gave me and spreading it out, I'm paying about $18 a month for a year for it. So, I mean, it is what it is. A lot cheaper than, so 200 something versus Cintiq. You're still going to be spending for this size, I don't know, 1,000. And it's not the biggest, but it's pretty good size. It's about the same size as my laptop screen, and it's cool. So I've been having a lot of fun working with that. Someday I would like to upgrade to something that doesn't have to be tethered to a computer and is a little more mobile. At the moment, pretty much has to stay at my desk, and then when it's not in use, I like to cover it up with something just to keep it a little safer. So right now it's got the Sally cloth on it. Alright, but that is about it. I didn't do too much of the comic stuff. I had a lot of big plans at the end of last month that I talked about, and I didn't really get to any of them. It's a little hard to... These have become... they're not quite the basic sketches that I was doing more at the beginning. They're a little more time consuming, a little bigger. Whereas it was taking me about half hour to an hour before to come up with my daily drawings. I'd say I'm spending about hour and a half, between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours at this point, which is maybe a little too long for some of them. And some people are asking me, where you get this time? How are you getting it done? And for the most part, it's me getting up early before anyone in the house and coming down here and working in the dark before I start kind of my regular work day and my family duties. So yeah, that's been keeping me busy. So someone's at my door. I better go check who it is. I'll be up at 5 in the morning working, so message me then. Bye.